Hey everybody, Blue Michael here. I Not too long ago I heard about the um, revelation that Laverne Cox um, revealed about her dating a white, you know, police officer, Trump supporter, and how I found out was through this app, you know, and how um, so many people were. I saw a video and somebody was upset about this, and I figured it out, and I was surprised myself. But I didn't want to just make a video on this topic um, without knowing more facts. See, also, I've known Laverne Cox for many, many years. See, I've worked with Laverne. Um, we worked in nightclubs together, and I actually knew Laverne prior to, I believe it was prior to transitioning, or she was just like just doing it. And I used to hang out at Marymount College with some of the students. I never went, so don't try to figure out that I went there because I never went to college. I'm a high school dropout. I keep it real. It's my truth. But yeah, so I've known her a long time, and I didn't want to. I've always been very. We've always been very pleasant with each other. Always. So back to hearing about her dating this guy for a while in the midst of, I believe, COVID or whatever. She was dating this guy, and she was going to talk about it in a show that she was doing, which I would have loved to actually see. What's my opinion on it? My opinion is that was her life. That's what she did. And what? Do I feel as a person who goes by he, they, them, and who many years ago lived as a woman for a long time, considered transitioning, um, who is in a marriage with a man, but also is in an open marriage and also can sleep with women still and find women still attractive. So, like, she did that. Okay, so no one's asking, and there's a lot of backlash she's going through with that. How could you do this? Blah blah blah, and this, that, and the third. But no one's asking. So, what about the guy? Did you know? What about this guy? What about maybe he needed to date her because he needed something to change within his life? Maybe it's just spirit saying, you need to go through this, and you're going to go through this experience with someone who's famous, who is part of the group that a person you're supporting politically is outwardly trying to hurt, and it's not an attack towards, it's not her living a lie, or she was involved with somebody who is part of the problem that she talks about. Love is kind of weird like that too, and it can be the whole thing that maybe that person needed to change or see something different, to be so intimate, you know, in a relationship, an intimate relationship with somebody who is, it's like someone who is against people of color, and then you find out they're married to somebody of color. It's kind of wild. Maybe that guy needed to go through that process, and she was the person to let him see that her community is not a threat. I think it's really important to pause before you know, pass judgment on someone's life or their life experiences. And a wonderful thing about what she did was she opened up and talked about it. It wasn't a tabloid, it wasn't some shadiness. And it could have been, part of a motivation because there are a lot of shady people out there, a lot of, people in the press who are you know, just really messed up. But she did it. And that's amazing. And I thank her for sharing that experience. And I know this has been a long video. It's going on 6 minutes, but I'm going to say that I have no judgment. Girl, this is to Laverne. Laverne, thank you for sharing this part of you. Thank you for being open and talking about an experience that you were having. And I can say I appreciate it because I get it. You know, how many people who are, and I know therapists people for domestic violence who are involved in relationships with people who are domestically violent towards them. Or I've also known people who are work in rehabilitation from drugs and alcohol and are addicts themselves and can't stop using. Um, Thank you for explaining and giving us your life experience. It's not up to me to judge whether it's bad or good. It's more of being open to hear and listen and learn from whatever you're showing and making that choice to learn because I don't need to. I could just pass judgment or I can, you know, look inward or just outwardly and just, whatever, not get anything from it or just accept something from it. Um, but I want to say thank you. Thank you so much, Laverne, for sharing your experience. And like in recovery, we say experience, strength, and hope. And it was that for me. It was surprising, but thank you because you didn't have to do that. And I think that people of color, and this is to the people of color in particular, my brothers and sisters, and non binary people who are passing judgment in a negative manner, cut it out. Be at least open to learn something. And if you're so damn quick and you're that going through it like that, it usually means you're going through something yourself or you're going, it's striking a nerve within you. So this is a good time to also look inward, especially my, my community LGBTQIA. Look inwardly. If this is her experience is bothering you, look inward and figure that out before posting something hateful online, because that's not okay either. And remain teachable. Um, yeah. So that's my 2 cents. Peace.